May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts be always acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. Well, you might have guessed by now that today is Good Shepherd Sunday. So just a reminder about the 3-year lectionary cycle. Each year, on this fourth Sunday of Easter, the lectionary assigns a different portion of this 10th chapter of John's Gospel. For year A, the year we are in now, we get this first section of the chapter. Next year, you probably guessed, we'll get the next section. And year C, we'll get the final section of this. So with our passage this morning, these first 10 verses of the chapter, we don't even get to the part where Jesus says, I am the Good Shepherd. In these first verses, we hear Jesus say twice, I am the gate. Well, this isn't an isolated passage that shows Jesus as gate and shepherd in some generic way. Right before this is Jesus' healing of the man born blind. And these sections of these 2 chapters are one large unit. This all flows together and follows the pattern of sign, dialogue, and discourse used in other parts of John's Gospel. Jesus performs a sign, the healing of the man born blind, which is followed by a dialogue as onlookers try to figure out what it all means, and concludes with Jesus' discourse or interpretation of the sign that he has performed. And twice in this passage that we have this morning, Jesus says, I am the door, or translated here as gate, because it seems to fit better with this whole scene with sheep. I am the gate. Whoever enters by me will be saved and will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. And John's Gospel has lots of I am statements. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the true vine. I am the good shepherd. And I imagine most of us are familiar, much more familiar, with Jesus as the good shepherd. And the figure of shepherd was quite common at that time of the scriptures and is an image used throughout the Hebrew scriptures, often referring to a king. So the idea of Jesus as shepherd, someone who guides us, leads us, protects us, goes after us when we run off, picking us up and carrying us back to the flock. We can picture all of this. But again, we don't have that in our gospel reading this morning. We have the lesser known, I am the gate. And if we try to look at this all too closely this morning, it's confusing. Jesus identifies here as both the shepherd and the gate. But if we can step back, we could look at this from another angle. If Jesus is the gate, then we are not the gate. And for me, that is pretty key. Jesus is the gate, and we are not the gate. And this coming right after Jesus has restored the sight of the man born blind, and the Pharisees had argued that the man was blind because of some great sin, and he did not deserve to be healed. For the Pharisees, it was case closed, gate closed on this blind man and on Jesus. Feeling threatened by Jesus, threatened by his teachings, his healing, all of those who were gathering to follow him, the Pharisees were looking to shut him down, close the gate. And so it is, I think, with many groups today, religious or political, feeling threatened by the words and actions of others who do not think, talk, act like us, vote like us. We can have a tendency to close ranks, start talking in terms of us and them, thinking how grateful we are that we are not carrying on like they are, and placing them in the other camp. We are the ones who can shut the gate. And many of us have experienced having the gate shut on us. Shut on us when someone has labeled us as not good enough, as less than, as sinful, whether because of our gender, our sexual orientation, or how we identify, or because of our race, our politics, how we speak, how we choose to express ourselves. And it has always bothered me when some Christians will use this passage to say, who is in and who is out? Who is getting into heaven and who is not? We are not the gate. And this is not to say that we do not speak up and stand up to those who have no respect for the dignity of all human beings. But as soon as we start labeling who is in and who is out, we start thinking that we are the gate. Jesus says, I am the gate, and I came that you may have life and have it abundantly. Amen.
So